All right, what's going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Going to do a little post-game show action. Obviously, not live tonight. Just doing some recorded stuff. Kind of tough to do live today. And plus, I didn't really want to go live on Christmas. Kind of let everybody do their own thing. Whenever they get the opportunity to tune in, you guys can feel free to do it on your own and take it from there. Got a lot to get into in tonight's game. Lakers taking on. Damn, is that the best team in the NBA? I know watching every Lakers game and obviously following the team pretty closely here. I don't know if there's a better team in the league than the Boston Celtics. You guys can give me your opinion on that. But we'll talk a little bit about just how dangerous the Boston Celtics are, unfortunately. The Lakers, slow start again, pretty much climbing back all game. Two bad quarters did the Lakers in. The third quarter was awful as well. 2-6 in the last 8 games for the Lakers. Stay with the same starting lineup. Make any changes. Sounds like I was listening to AD post game. He likes the starting lineup, wants to keep it as is, or at least he said that he likes what he's seen so far from it. I'll spend some time also talking about Anthony Davis and his stretch. He's had a really impressive stretch over the last 7 games or so. But to be honest with you, Anthony Davis has just been great, period. So I don't know if we have to just talk about a specific stretch with him. And then I thought some other things that were interesting. Darin Ham post game, LeBron on the best teams right now in the league are the healthy ones. So we got a lot of stuff to get into. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Lakers have 2 days off before they take on the Hornets. So they will not play tomorrow. They will not play Wednesday. They'll be back in action on Thursday. So whenever you're tuning into this, thank you for doing it. So Celtics over the Lakers, 126-115. I think a couple obvious things for me as I just kind of rant here for a quick second. A couple obvious things for me is first quarter. I think the score was 11-0, 12-0 that Boston started the game at. Start of the first, or as the first quarter progressed, Lakers are down 18. So getting their asses kicked right out the gate. And on a Christmas Day game, I was doing the pregame show, obviously, with Michael Thompson. Him and I were talking that, wow, what a game on Saturday. Statement game for the Lakers, whatever you want to call it, right? That Anthony Davis calls out the Lake Show and the Lakers respond. They say, hey, it's a must-win type of game. Lakers, in that game, make the change of the starting lineup, move DAngelo Russell off to the bench. And instantly, the Lakers responded. And Michael and I were talking about it. We're like, okay, are they going to come out in that game because they had lost 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6. AD calls out the team after the Minnesota game and says it's going to be a must win. They're going to come with the same energy in that game too, right? And I'm talking about today's game from this afternoon. They're going to come out with a similar mentality, similar desperation, a hunger. They're going to do that against the Boston Celtics, partially because they don't have a choice. The Boston Celtics are such a good team that if you do dig yourself down 10, down 12 at the end of the first quarter, something along those lines, it's really tough to come back against a team as talented as the Boston Celtics. So Michael and I were kind of challenging each other or having the conversation about it. It's like, look, this couldn't have been a one-game thing, right? That they're going to be fine, and they're going to come out against the Boston Celtics, and it's going to be a grinded-out game. You got to play your best basketball to beat the Boston Celtics. So down 18 very, very early on, and they finished the first quarter. They're down 9. Now, I'll give the Lakers credit in this because I think we've seen the Lakers do this a ton. And, again, it takes something to be able to come back in games. It takes something to be able to dig yourself out a hole. Certainly, you got to have some type of talent. There's a lot that has to go right for you to come back from 18 down. Lucky for the Lakers in the first quarter, so they had a lot of time to come back. They responded in the second quarter, and by the time we got to halftime, it was just a 1-point game. And Lakers, I want to see what their biggest lead was. I want to say, was it just 2? They took a 2-point lead in that third quarter, and you thought, okay, hey, Lakers are in business. And that was very, very early on. But the amount of effort it takes the Lakers that they have to expend, the amount of effort that LeBron James and Anthony Davis have to the fuel that they have to use just to come back to make it a 2-point game again, or Lakers get a lead by 2, or to make it reasonable by the time it's halftime, just to give yourselves a shot. By the time they use all that energy, okay, well, Boston's still a good team. They're going to come back. They're going to go on runs. The Boston Celtics are eventually going to figure this thing out and put themselves in the spot where they end up using all the talent that they have. They're going to go on a 8-0 run or a 10-2 run or something along those lines. Excuse me there. So you use all that effort that you had right there to come back. You use all that effort to climb this hill like no tomorrow. You use all that effort to figure out a way to make this thing a game. And by halftime, you do just that. Then Boston comes down in the third quarter and drops 41 on you. And by the time the third quarter was done, you felt like, okay, the Boston Celtics, I think they had an 8-point lead by then. You just felt like the Boston Celtics are, all right, they're starting to take control of this game, where the margin of error for the Lakers was so incredibly thin by that point. And it reminds me of so many games that the Lakers have played this year where they're not ready coming out the gate. They don't match the intensity of the other team. There isn't this, the way they came out against the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's like, we're ready to go. You guys want to go? You guys want to battle? Let's battle. And the Lakers did not do that against the Boston Celtics, and they've done that so many different times this year. It will bite you against good teams. It might bite you against bad teams, the Chicago Bulls, go down the list of some of these other teams that have hung with the Lakers or beat the Lakers this year. It might bite you against a number of different teams, but I thought for the Lakers tonight, that was, those 2 quarters, that's it. That's all they need. The Boston Celtics have a good start to the game and then have a strong third quarter. And to beat a team like the Boston Celtics, probably not going to happen. So that part obviously frustrating tonight. And I thought those 2 quarters, the first quarter and the third quarter, you can call it a wrap after that, even though they won the fourth quarter as well, but it was a 2-point quarter. The only quarter the Lakers won was that second quarter. And Boston from there kind of had control of this game, specifically in that second half. Okay. I want to talk about Boston for a quick second. So Celtics over the Lakers, 126-115. Let me actually point this out. So they gave these shirts out today. Kind of cool. All the shirts were out on the seats. So we got to grab one as well. So that's why I'm wearing this one. So kind of a cool giveaway. That was a part of the Christmas game today. So people are asking, Al, where the hell did you get that shirt from? I got it at the arena. I'm going to talk about Boston here real quick, and then I'm going to get right back into the Lakers and individual players. Team's really good. Really, really good. I'm going to share my screen with you guys for a quick second. And look how good the starters are. And I know Laker fans are like, please, Al, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want to know anything about the Boston Celtics. But listen, got to give credit where credit's due. And they got a squad. So let me show you guys this. I'll show you guys the screen real quick. Look at their starting lineup. Are you kidding me? Tatum drops 25, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. I thought Doris Burke and Doc Rivers were doing a good job just talking about how, as far as this game, he wasn't shooting well, but he was getting to the free throw line. He was setting up, creating for others. Porzingis, 28 and 11. So AD, we're going to talk about how great he's been and what a big game that he had. Porzingis had 28 and 11. Couple block shots as well. 11 of 19 from the field. And that's with him not hitting his threes. I think it was only 2 of 8 from 3. Okay. Jrue Holiday. That's a freaking weapon. Look at Holiday's numbers. 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. 7 of 10 from the field. Look at Derek White's numbers. 18 points, 11 assists. Couple of steals, couple of block shots. Beautiful defensive plays by Derek White. Look at Jaylen Brown. 7 of 17 from the field. Still had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Now, they don't got much off the bench. Horford gave them, I thought, some clutch jumpers, hit a couple of threes. I thought both of them were clutch, were big-time threes. And then Pritchard for the Boston Celtics, Peyton Pritchard, kind of a nuisance on the floor, but he does his thing as well. He had 10 points for them. Boston's got a team. I'm trying to think here, and you guys can feel free to put on the comments. Of all the teams that the Lakers have played this year, of course, Denver to start out the season. Philly was incredible, beat the Lakers by 40 plus. We've got a chance to see Miami. We've got a chance to see Minnesota recently, OKC recently. Boston might be the best team of anybody that at least I've seen. The ball just moves. There's guys cutting all the time. There's a balance. You don't know who's going to get that shot off. The Celtics have a really, really impressive team that's put together. The question is going to be if they got enough depth, if they got enough from their bench perspective, because starters, I mean, that 5 is incredible, and there's just really, really good balance. There was a lot of times where somebody had a good shot but still was unselfish to go get even a better shot, and there were times where it was tough to see how the Lakers were going to guard the Boston Celtics. Couldn't get stops. And I don't think it was you couldn't get stops because the Lakers' defense is awful. I think you couldn't get stops because Boston's really, really good. So that's as impressive as a team that I've watched all year. And you guys could give me your thoughts there. But really impressive. Porzingis with 20. It's not even the Tatum and the Jaylen Brown. That part I'm not even talking about. That part is actually, I thought when the Celtics were at their worst is when Tatum was going ISO. But it was Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis. I'm like, damn, these 3 guys can ball. And the way all these guys play together was a very interesting mix, in my opinion. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the slow start for the Lakers and how they're digging themselves the holes and how that's just terrible, terrible, terrible basketball for the Lakers. I talked a little bit about how dangerous Boston is and how deep they are and how many players that they have, or at least their starting lineup, how good they are. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about some of the Laker players right now. I got on the background this Niners-Ravens game right now. I swear every time I've looked at the TV, the Niners have thrown a pick or some kind of a turnover. Kind of surprising here. Surprising to see Baltimore with a little bit of a lead here. Okay, so let me get into some of the Laker players here real quick, and then I want to talk about the 2-6 in their last 8 games and the starting lineup. So we'll do that in just a second as well. So from a Laker perspective, let's share this screen again because I just want to talk about each of these players individually. By the way, Merry Christmas to everybody. I'll just sprinkle that in as we go through the show. Appreciate you guys being a part of a little post-game show action here. Okay, here are the Lakers numbers. Let's stop at Anthony Davis for a quick second. 39 minutes for Anthony Davis, 40 points today, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, a block shot as well. AD is he's doing it. He's doing it on the big stage. He's doing it on nationally televised games, local games. He's doing it night in and night out. I mentioned this in that last post-game show I did after the Lakers and the Thunder. I talked about how I don't want to hear any bitching and complaining about Anthony Davis this season. There should be nobody complaining about Anthony Davis this season. And there's a lot of times that we're all looking for that game where Anthony Davis, doesn't take a shot in the fourth quarter, or he struggles and only takes 9 or 10 shots, or only has 12 or 13 points. I know those happen, but it's not happening that frequently this year. And the man has been as consistent as anybody on this Lakers team. I think he's been the best player on the Lakers team this year. What he does on the defensive side every single night, and then his capability and what he does offensively for the Lakers, he's been fantastic. So no bitching and complaining about Anthony Davis this year. And oh, by the way, Anthony Davis, as far as his stats go, he's only missed 2 games this year. He's played in 28 of the 30 games this year. So, or maybe it's 28 of the 30. Maybe we play 31. This is his first 40-point game this year, but it's his first 40-point game. We've played 31. First 40-point game this year is because they didn't count the Indiana Pacers game. For some reason, the stats didn't count in that in-season tournament championship game. But AD dropped 40 tonight, and it looked effortless. Hit a couple of threes, was getting to the free throw line. He did his part. So I don't want anybody complaining about Anthony Davis. LeBron, not nearly as good. LeBron did not have a good night tonight, just simply put. And banged his knee, I think it was, with Tate or with Jaylen Brown a little bit earlier. He's about to turn 39 at the end of this week. He's coming off a 40-point game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'm not going to try to make excuses for him. He just didn't have a good game today. He didn't look good. 5 of 14 from the field, 37 minutes of play. Did have 9 rebounds, did have 8 assists, but only 16 points for LeBron. And they needed more from LeBron, and I don't know how much that had to do with Boston's defense. Whatever the case is, Bron wasn't his regular self tonight. Let's keep going. I want to point out some of these other players as well. Vando had 6.6 rebounds. I'm going to come back to him when we're talking about the starting lineup. Cam Reddish only took 2 shots. Really zero threat on offense from him. He had 5 points. And then go look at the bench. Rui took 14 shots, took 9 threes for the Lakers, and only had 12 points. So definitely not an efficient night for him. DAngelo Russell, 4 of 6 from the field, 8 points and 6 assists. And then Austin Reeves, 4 of 9, 11 points, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds. So for the Lakers, I mean, simply put, my best perspective on it, I was hoping for more from their bench. That didn't happen. I was hoping for more from LeBron. That didn't happen. I mean, they did end up putting up 115 points, so it's not like the Lakers didn't score. They just couldn't get any stops. And in games like this, you almost got to play perfect basketball if you're going to give up that many points, but that's how good Boston was. So I thought individually for the Lakers, nothing special. Nobody really did anything to where you thought, other than other than Anthony Davis, nobody really did anything that you thought was going to be a major game changer. So I got a couple other things in mind that I want to point out here as I'm going down some of the individual players. I think there are some things that are glaring, and that's going to get me into my next conversation. Whether you thought DAngelo Russell played well tonight or you didn't, or played well today or he didn't, whatever your thoughts were on DAngelo Russell just in general about his game, I think what's telling is how many minutes Darin Ham is playing him right now. So D'Lo played in this afternoon's game. He played 18 minutes for the Lakers. Okay. In the last game against the OKC Thunder, he played 17. What that tells me is that the Lakers are obviously trying to get defense in the lineup over offense. And part of it also tells me that there's less confidence right now in Darin Ham on D'Lo. That's the best way that I could put it, because so far in the regular season, DAngelo Russell is averaging 29 minutes a game, just under 30 minutes a game. Okay? Just under 30 minutes a game. These last 2 games, against Minnesota, he played 38 minutes. Against Chicago, he played 28 minutes. Against New York, he played 28 minutes. He's down all the way to 18 and 17 minutes in these last 2 games, where not only is he getting taken out of the starting lineup, he's playing a lot less minutes, period. That's the thing that I want to point out, because I think that's the thing that is more important than anything else, is the fact, and you probably hear Rookie in the background there. That's the thing that I think is more glaring than anything else. What's more glaring than anything else is that it's not that DAngelo Russell got pulled out of the starting lineup, but he's still playing starter minutes. No, DAngelo Russell got pulled out of the starting lineup, and he's playing bench player minutes. Let me tell you what I'm talking about here. Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves, I'm just going to compare these last couple of games. Rui played 29 minutes. Austin Reeves played 28 minutes. If I go back, I'm going to pull this up real quick because I'm just curious. In the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder that the Lakers played, Thunder, Let's go to the box score here real quick. In those two games, Rui played 30, Austin Reeves played 28. So D'Lo's the one that's playing significantly less minutes than he was before. So to kind of put a bow on this, the way Darin Ham is using DAngelo Russell in these last two games should not show optimism that he's going to rely more and more on DAngelo Russell as the season goes. It sounds like he's trying to say, I'm going to try something different. And you're the one that's going to lose the minutes as I try something different. So however D'Lo feels about that, to be honest with you, I don't think it really matters. I think you're just trying to figure out, is this going to work or is it not going to work? And if it is going to work, then they'll keep doing it. But you're not going to find out over 2 games or 5 games. Probably going to find out over 10 games, 12 games, something along those lines. But DAngelo Russell looks like he's going the other way when it comes to minutes. So stay with the starting lineup? Absolutely you do. No question about it. You stay with this new starting lineup and you give this some a real shot to see if it's going to work or not. I'm going to go back to this. Boston's probably the best team in the NBA. If they're not the best, they're no further than third. So losing to the Boston Celtics is not the end of the world, and that's probably not the game that you panic on and say, "Oh my gosh, what the hell are we doing? We just lost to Boston." No, Boston's really good. You got games coming up where you can really kind of find out whether this lineup makes sense or not. You got Charlotte coming up, at Minnesota, at New Orleans, and then they go through a stretch in January. For 3 weeks, they're going to be home playing at Crypto.com. They're going to get a lot of home cooking, and they only got one road game, and it's at Utah. So I think you could expect this. I was listening to Anthony Davis after the game. He was asked, hey, what do you think of the starting lineup so far? And he said, it's good. As in, it sounded like to me he was a proponent of it and give this thing some time. Let's see where it goes. It's not like he was grabbing a mic and saying, we got to get DAngelo Russell back in that starting lineup. So the thing that I noticed, again, I'm going to go back to it. It has less to do with D'Lo out of the starting lineup. It has more to do with DAngelo Russell, the amount of minutes he's played in these last 2 games. Keep an eye on the amount of minutes that he's played in these last 2 games, because I think, to me, that part is just as important as anything else. Okay. I got some thoughts on Darin Ham post-game. LeBron on the best teams being healthy. Record with LeBron and AD healthy is concerning. I'll tell you what I mean about that. But before I do those, and I want to preview the Charlotte Hornets, quick shout out here to Underdog Fantasy. Use the code HoopsLA. HoopsLA is the code. And for those who are just kind of getting an idea right now, Underdog Fantasy, okay, what's their relationship with the channel? Their relationship is they are the official partner of Hoops Talk here. And a lot of things I'm able to actually do now, and some things that I'm planning to do on the future, is because Underdog Fantasy is a partner of the channel. But I think for you guys out there, just to send out the message, if you're a fan of daily fantasy sports, Underdog Fantasy right now is offering a first deposit of up to $100. And what does that mean? It means if you put $100, use your email, you sign up, use your, obviously use the code HoopsLA. They'll match whatever you do up to $100. You put $50 in, you got $50 free dollars sitting in your account. You put $100 in, they'll put $100 free dollars sitting in your account so that you can play with house money using their money. Again, first deposit match of up to $100. I'm going to make my picks here real quick. I'm going to do pregame. I'm going to do NBA. This is how easy it is to do it. We got a game. Luka, let's pick the games tonight coming up. So I'm recording. It's almost about 6:30 right now. Luka, higher or lower? 36.5. I'll go lower. I already don't like that pick. Probably should go higher. Kevin Durant, 31.5 points. Let's go lower. Taking both of them lower. Look what it pays out. If I put $20 in, I can make 3 times the amount of money. I'll hit play. I'll hit confirm. There's my entry. That's how quick it is. Use that code HoopsLA. Appreciate you guys being a part of it and sitting through as I put in this messaging. Problem gambling, 1-800-GAMBLER. So thank you for being a part of that. Okay, so I took some notes here. These are just a bunch of things that I just want to run through here real quick while Coach was talking. So one of the things, Darin Ham, post-game. On his post game, he was talking a little bit about kind of the position the Lakers are in. It was an early game. They just came off of a road trip. It's Christmas, kind of pointing towards all those reasons of why the Lakers got off to a slow start. I'm pretty sure you guys don't care about all those excuses. I'm not that crazy about those excuses. I would have preferred that he didn't have those excuses. I prefer Darin Ham just to say, guys, you know what? We lost to a really good Boston Celtics team. We got to be better than that. I got to be better as a coach. I got to get my guys ready to start games. And by the way, there is a lot of blame that goes on Darin Ham for the Lakers to have this many games where they play so poorly to start off the games. Of course, part of that's on Darin Ham. So I did not like that excuse of saying, well, we got off to a bad start because we just got off of a road trip. Our starting lineup keeps changing. And it's a afternoon game on Christmas. Nobody cares. Be better prepared. So I wasn't a big fan of that at all, to be honest with you. LeBron talked about, hey, what did you think of the best teams? Are they one of the best teams? Talking about just the competition that they faced in these last couple of games. And he said, because they went Minnesota, OKC, and obviously Boston. So 3 of the best teams right now in the NBA as far as record goes. So with that as the conversation, LeBron said, right now the best teams are Minnesota's healthy. That's why they're good. OKC is healthy. That's why they're good. And Boston is healthy, which is why they're good. I think Giddey was the only one that missed playing time of a significant player for OKC. Bron's message was, those teams are all good because they're really healthy. Well, I will tell you, health has a lot to do with how you play. He's not wrong there. But for me personally, the more I kind of listen to that message from Bron, for me, the Lakers got healthy. Remember, after they won the in-season tournament, they got healthy. They still lost games. They were healthy against Chicago. Why they lose against Chicago? Versus Dallas, the only person they had out was Vando, and Dallas was missing a lot of players. Well, why didn't Dallas cave? Dallas was missing Kyrie Irving. I don't like the health as an excuse because there have been games where the Lakers have been healthy and still lost. So that one, again, first Darin Ham I thought was an excuse, and I think Bron, they're not wrong, but I don't think anybody wants to hear those excuses. And there's other teams that are in very similar predicaments as well. The Boston Celtics have been on the road. How many games in a row have the Celtics played on the road? I know they've played at least Golden State, Sacramento, and the Clippers on the road. Let's see how many they got. Yep, those 3. And now they played the Lakers, and then they finally go home on the 28th, so in a few days to play the Pistons. Boston was on the final of a 4-game road stretch. They went 3-1. The only game they lost was against the Warriors in OT, and Tatum injured his ankle that game. They blew out Sacramento, blew out the Clippers, and frankly, blew out the Lakers today too. It's a double-digit game. I call double-digit games blowouts, at least in my opinion. So that was another thing that I heard I wasn't crazy about. Laker fans, this is the one thing that I would be concerned about. Because I've talked about LeBron and Anthony Davis have played in a lot of these games, which they have. LeBron's missed a small handful of games. AD's missed a small handful of games. The Lakers have been relatively healthy with their stars, 16 and 15, right? If I'd have told you LeBron and AD have only missed a few games so far this year, and we're going to be 31 games in, what would their record be? I'd be like, okay, maybe they're 6, 7, 8 games above 500, something like that. They're 1 game above 500, just 16 and 15. So I'm not too crazy about where the Lakers stand based on being healthy. I know a lot of other guys haven't been healthy, but that to me certainly kind of stood out, that the fact that they are only 1 game above 500, that's a little odd. For Anthony Davis to have played 28 of these 31 games and only 1 game above 500, you would have thought that the Lakers were able to have, obviously a much better stretch. That has not been the case so far. Okay, I wanted to wrap it up, do about a half hour today. Next game for the Lakers, it's Thursday versus the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets, not a good team. 7-20 on the season. I know the Hornets got a game coming up tomorrow against the Clippers. They've lost 7 games in a row. And they're definitely not a team that I think the Lakers, we should be too concerned about when it comes to them. But I just want to check here real quick. By the way, I say that anything can happen. Injuries, they got none. So they're going to be healthy coming in on Thursday. LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Brandon Miller, PJ Washington. I feel like they should be a lot better than they are, but they're really not that good. So something to keep in mind as the Lakers get ready to play the Charlotte Hornets. But Hornets are going to have a game tomorrow, so they probably flew in today into Los Angeles. So they're going to have a game tomorrow coming up against the Clippers, and then they'll have the Lakers coming up on Thursday. So they're 7-20. Lake Show, thank you all for being a part of the show here on Christmas. Lakers lose to the Boston Celtics 126-115. Your comments below, anything that I talked about that you thought was of interest, your thoughts on the starting lineup, your thoughts on some of the comments LeBron had, Darin Ham had. Feel free to chime in there, and anything else that I got into during the show. Thank you for being a part of the show. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Christmas. Hope you have a great next couple of days, and I'll get back with you guys coming up on Thursday. Thanks, Laker fans. Appreciate it.